Hello gamers! Welcome back to Middle-Aged Gaming. Today we're diving into the world of Orcs Must Die Death Trap, the latest offering from Robot Entertainment. We've got our hands on the recent trailer and we're going to break it down for you. So let's get started. So one of the very first things with this trailer, as I was preparing for this episode, was like, the music is really cool and catchy. If you go to the X account of Robot Entertainment or Orcs Must Die, they actually mention who the band is. So if you're really into the music, I highly suggest you catch it out. And then in the beginning, we saw the typical like funny sounds you get with Orcs Must Die, especially the spring traps. When the orcs get sprung, they go, oh, and they make those funny sounds, like, which is always awesome. It always keeps the game light and funny and entertaining, despite you slaughtering hundreds or thousands of orcs, and especially if you played all the Orcs Must Die games like I have. Let's keep going. So one of the things we notice here is just the speed at which people are assembling these traps and train tracks. And like I mentioned, I played all the games. I played the last game when it finally came to Steam, and I don't remember train tracks 100%. And one of the things I do know with this game, because I did say a little bit of research, is that you can play up to 4 players, which is perfect because I have 2 brothers, right? So the other games I played with my friend Hans, which is awesome, and I believe the other previous 2 games were only 2-player, which is like co-op, right? 2 people. But with 4 people, we get to include my older brother, which is going to be really fun. The test of time for this game will be, especially if you're separated geographically speaking from your brothers, is like, how's the network code going to be? How's the lag going to be, right? Because I'm in Taiwan, my older brother's in London, my younger brother's in South Africa. There are very few games that work given our geographies. There are 4 characters. Again, one of the wonderful things about this, right? Very representative. We've got a person of color. We've got a bear, right? For people who love animals, aka furries. I'm not judging or anything like that. I love the diversity. Hopefully there's a very robust character created with this, because I always make myself. I know people like to make other people or make really beautiful women or really beautiful men. So this is exciting, right? And then this highlights the 4-player co-op, as I mentioned before. So one of the things I'm noticing as well, like the musket is a very common item. We'd remember this from the last game, but going back a few seconds, right? Let's go back. So we see lots and lots of blood, right? And I don't remember the games having a lot of blood before. Maybe the blood was off and I just didn't know. That seems really interesting. And I noticed something before, right? It looked like some sort of sea dragon fairy thing. There you can see it over there, right? Looks like a little fairy dragon, and that's new because again I don't remember that from the previous games, but looks really interesting. And then the thing even above that looks like a new kind of like multiple, like a doomsday level turret. So that's also really interesting as well, because we've never had like really big sort of turret weapons. They've always been really small. Let's keep going. This is really cool. Who doesn't like that bowling sound effect when you just see the minecart go through and the orcs fly everywhere? That's one of the coolest things about the game. This is also really interesting, right? Because you've never had the ability to just ride on something moving. So if there's a lot of, not a lot, but maybe some opportunities for you to place tracks and then be like this moving, be like a moving turret that you control, where you get to be there with the musket and you're firing at enemies and able to say, all right, this is the most important enemy, I need to kill him first. And then we see that pink thing again, and it looks like some sort of weird weasel fox mix of a dragon thing, which looks really cool. And we see a lot of the common enemies, right? We see the crossbow orc, and the drum orc looks new. So let's keep going. This looks new, right? A grappling hook turret looks awesome, right? To pull them, but with some of the traps in Orcs Must Die, right, you have to be able to use them. So this looks cool. If it pulls them, and then what happens, right? Is it gonna launch them away? Is it gonna kill them? Is it gonna drop them and let them do damage? I guess that kind of makes sense, but then what's the fire rate of that? Because again, because you have some traps just really work, right? Like the wall spikes are like traditional trap from all the way from Orcs Must Die #1, which shoots the spikes, and that just works really well. And there's some really awesome traps, but they're not useful, or I hate to get into numbers, the DPS just sucks. So hopefully this is actually like a useful trap, or this is something they change with this game where there's a much greater variety of traps you can use, because as I mentioned a few seconds ago, there's just some traps work, some traps don't, and some traps are just good looking and they're fun, but they just make the game more difficult for you, which is, again, if you like that, sure. If you don't like it, then you just go with the stuff that works. So we looked at a new enemy over here, right? It looks like a magical orc, like an ogre, a magical ogre, right? He's got that green beard and stuff, and I don't think I've ever seen him before. He has like a big axe. So one of the things I think in this trailer is, we haven't seen some of those old lumbering trolls yet, and the trolls were always difficult because you had to use fire weapons in order to kill them, right? Because just like in fantasy books, trolls can heal very fast, and in order to kill a troll, you have to use fire to sort of limit its regeneration abilities. And I'm seeing a lot of magic guys. We saw the one person, the lady with the musket. So I'm wondering if you get to choose your weapons, because in the previous game, I think #3, one guy was a magic user, one guy was like a tech engineer guy, and I think that was it, right? So let's see. That looks cool, right? Let's run that back. That looks like almost like a Warhammer smash, right? Lots of enemies there, and you jump down and you smash, and you like, hopefully that looked like blood just now. But yeah, hopefully that's an ability. And then it looks like a dwarf, or maybe it looks like the bear who's actually doing that, or a short bear, who knows? This looks like a very typical level, and there's the spike traps I mentioned before. Okay, time to wrap this up. So very cool. What do you guys think? Are you excited about it? I am super excited. It's only coming, is it early 2025? So hopefully this is Q1, because that would be nice to play during Chinese New Year for me, and play with my friend Hans as well. One thing I will notice as well is no PlayStation for Orcs Must Die, which is, I guess this is they were with Google before, and now maybe they're owned by Microsoft. I'm not really sure, but it sucks for PlayStation users. But yeah, I love it. I'm excited. Let me know what you guys thought about the trailer. Did I miss anything? One thing to note is that this is a rogue-like game as well. If you want me to dive into that, I can in another video, and maybe I will. That's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and then I'll see you guys next week for another video. Take care.